am proud to announce to you the first artificial intelligence road that will be completed in less than 1 year. The government is setting aside 10 billion for the completion of this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, this is JIBRIN here. I hope you understood that video very well. It's funny when I watched that video. It's funny, but at the same time infuriating. I watched that video. I said, man, this is a perfect message for Africans to understand what is actually going on at the helm of at the helm of political affairs in their respective country. That's exactly what is happening in Nigeria. That's exactly what is happening in other parts of Africa. And Nigeria, which happens to be my country, that is a norm. It's a norm in the system. You notice what happened there. The award that the chairman or whoever the person is, either the governor or whatever, I think I forgot it, but whoever the person who announced the contract, let's assume he was the one who actually awarded, who signed the main signatory to the contract award. You notice he was the first person who dipped his hands into that briefcase to take, first of all, take part of the money. They consider that to be their own share. After him, other leaders of the political class who probably were instrumental to awarding those contracts. Probably they sat for the award of those contracts. I was a contractor in Nigeria for so many years. I can tell you that's exactly what happens. I've pursued so many contracts. I've had contract discussions where they will always, I make my submission. They ask me to take it back and revise it to make it higher. It's sort of, I remember when I wanted to make a supply to the to NNPC, those years ago, I was a proposal of something I was actually bringing in from China, a tire kit or whatever. I introduced it for NNPC for them to use it on their vehicles nationwide, which would have been they had thousands of vehicles nationwide. So, and it was, they bought the idea because I went for the demonstration. They bought the idea. We started to move on, whatever. They asked for my submission. We did a submission. If it was actually someone who introduced me to the MD then. So we made our submission, and the next thing is someone, I wouldn't mention the name or the designation, the person's position, asked me to return, just go back, and they called me and say, I'll take this, go revise it, put this amount. You can imagine, I was to make the supply of each kit was supposed to then, so many years ago, 25,000 naira on each kit. Each tire kit. I was asked to increase it to 195,000 naira. You can imagine the difference. I charged them. My own rate was 25. That is what the original submission I made. They returned it back to me. They asked me to go revise it and increase it to 195,000 naira. And obviously, some of you will ask me, so what did I do? Did I join? Of course, I did not. That would have been a very, very massive supplies. Massive supplies that could have run into then almost 1 billion now when money was money. Because they had so many vehicles, so many vehicles nationwide. I was to actually supply them that. And I looked at it. The guy who took me there, who into that, I looked at it. I said, I'm sorry, my conscience would not let me do this. This is outrageous. Did you hear what I said? My own rate, I gave them, my submission was 25,000. And they said, no, go make it to 195,000. I said, I can't. I told him, I cannot. That's just it. And that was it. The guy pleaded and pleaded and pleaded. I said, I'm sorry, I cannot. My conscience will not enable me to do that. And that is exactly what is happening. Now, let me tell you one thing, just like what you watched on this video, even that 25, even if I had added the 195, they will not only take the extra 195, I think about 170,000 and give you, I bet you, even in my own profit, they will want to chop it into mine. That's what they do. That's what government officials do. That's exactly the kind of corruption that is going on in Africa. And to be precise, in Nigeria, my country, unfortunately. And today, this took place so many years ago. Today is even 10 times worse. 10 times worse. That is why you see a road, they award a contract for a road, and the contract takes forever to complete. And even when the contract process is this epileptic, they still end up not even finishing and completing the job in a standard manner. Go to all over Nigeria, most of the jobs, I won't say all, most of the jobs are substandard jobs. And so many of us used to blame contractors until we became contractors ourselves. And we saw what is actually going on in the system. That is just it. Sometimes contractors, it's not their fault. They just collect this money, and some of them, unfortunately, I blame them because they could have done what I did, unfortunately, because some people just can't resist this money of a thing. That's why the Bible calls it the root of all evil. Some people can't resist money, wealth, unfortunately. That's the problem. Otherwise, contractors are supposed to reject such thing and abandon the whatever. And the worst part is that if you reject it, they'll give it to the next available person. In my own case, when I did that or whatever, they didn't, because I was the only one that it was my idea. And that was why someone introduced me. And when the person saw it or whatever, he told me, man, this thing will be a very good sell. It was my idea. So it was exclusive to me. Otherwise, they could have done the same thing, probably go get another supplier to do the same thing, because that was exclusive to me. That product was exclusive to me. So that is just, and that was why they didn't, nothing, because up till recently, I've tried to find out, honestly, they didn't move forward with that supplies because I bolted out. So, but that's what they do. If it were something that you can get anywhere and everywhere, they just get the next available, because they don't want to lose that extra. In my own case, a piece extra 100. What I charge them 25, and they said they are taking 170,000 naira out of 195,000. That's what they do every time, all the time. And at the end of the day, what happens? The contractor, the ones that do not have the scruples to do the right thing, that are unprincipled, that does not have conscience, they play along and actually give them. You saw what happened there. Exactly what happened on the video. The contractor they awarded that road project to, under normal circumstances, when the first person dipped his hands, and the second person, under normal circumstances, you protest, return the money to them, let them cancel the contract. But no, he went ahead, and everybody kept dipping their hands and taking their own share. And at the end of the day, had just peanut there remaining. And out of that peanut, probably he himself would take half of that. He would take half, if not even more than half. And you saw the kind of road he did. That wasn't a road construction. That was just a play on the road. He just played on the road there. And that's just it. So he took his own, and the remaining half, He did what the remaining half could do, and that's exactly what is happening in the Nigerian system. It is so sad. It is so sad that we Nigerians cannot actually see our current situation as a breaking point to actually start reacting to against our leaders. It is so sad that there are so few Nigerians who are in the position of power. Probably not that much power, but like in the military, where we have the middle officers, middle class officers, who are supposed to actually do something about what is going on in Nigeria. It's just like what happened during during Buhari time, the Buhari first time. I don't like mentioning that name, Buhari. That man is a bunch of disappointment. So it's obvious. Of course, we knew quite all right. Initially, I thought it was Idiagbon was able to pull off what he did, what he pulled off during that era, because Buhari actually had they had the same vision or whatever. So he decided to give someone who is actually active and in line with his idea. That was what I thought. Until this second time, he became a civilian president, and he really demonstrated that weakness. I noticed that weakness during the PTF time, Petroleum Trust Fund. But I just felt again that I just gave him the benefit of the doubt until he exhibited this one that just crippled Nigeria. Honestly. So we need someone like Idiagbon. He's the right person to actually hold on to. The right name. He's an icon. They just killed him off. I think that man was killed or poisoned, because remember, I think he died after eating some kind of food. We need officers, military officers, just like the military officers that have the spirit of Idiagbon. Idiagbon died even as his vice president, head of state then. He still was vice president during Buhari's for military regime. But long after, I think about 10, 20, 15, he died, I think, around during Obasanjo's military, as civilian government. Or that should be about 10, 15 or how many years after he was after he stepped down. Or he was dethroned. Okay, they were overthrown by Babangida. Yeah. We need a military officer that will come in the spirit, in the noble, humble, disciplined spirit of Idiagbon. That man was a kind. We have them in the military. We have the Hamid Alis, the Jafar Isas. We have them in the military, Angiwa Umar. These were military guys that were known for integrity. What are such military people who are in the position to do something? What are they waiting for? This is our breaking point. Nigeria, we need to rise up to the occasion, or else poverty will kill everyone. Either way, if you act, you will die. If you don't act, you will die. So why don't we act? So that we will let's not kukuma die, and there are chances that we will not die even when we act. And this is my angle. I hope we will give this a thought.